is Fredara Hadley of Juicy, and you're watching According to Manwe.
I'm Manwe, native New Yorker, entertainer, foodie. Join me as I take you through an experience through New York like no other. Only on According to Manwe. What's going on, you guys? It's your boy Manwe. This is According to Manwe, and I am with the one and only Ethnomusicologist Fredara Hadley.
Yes!
Welcome to New York City.
Thank you.
You're originally from West Palm Beach,
Florida. Southern girl.
Hey Dad, how are you?
I'm very well. How are you today?
I'm just blessed to be here with you.
All right.
All right, so I'm sure just with the title alone, everyone's like, ethnomusicologist?
Right, say that 3 times fast.
Right. So I'm just going to just explain exactly what this means.
Sure. I'll give you like the kind of scholarly answer.
Right, give me the scholar answer.
Well, if you take anthropology, which is the study of culture, ethnomusicologists are only interested in the musical parts of that. So we believe, to also sound evangelical about it, we believe that by studying the music that people make and the music that people listen to, we can tell something about the culture that they belong to, something about their worldview, something about, how they view life, all those kinds of questions we can tease out just by listening to and talking to people about music.
Okay, all right.
That's the what.
That's the what. Okay, now so what made you say, I don't want to do banking anymore, I don't want to work for, I don't know, I want to do this?
Well, I gotta give credit to my mother. When she was pregnant with me, she said the Lord told her child was gonna be musical. So my mother played piano and sang, and she bought a piano for me, and I grew up playing piano, playing violin, viola, singing in church. So went to a performing arts school.
Well.
Yeah, so the music was in the DNA and in the schooling.
Right.
And then somewhere along the way I became a business major, and somewhere after that I became a banker, and then somewhere along the way I decided to get a master's in African American Studies because I was like, well, what am I passionate about? I was like, I like talking about black people. Mm-hmm. And then somewhere in that process, I realized what I was really interested in was the music of black people. And a former professor of mine from Florida A&M University, which is where I went to undergrad.
Okay, wait a minute, I'm sorry, hold up. My dad went to Florida A&M. Dr. David Addison, what up, Dad?
Hey! So Dr. Derek Williams at Florida A&M told me about ethnomusicology, told me about a woman who was doing the kind of work that I was interested in, named Portia Maltzby, who then was teaching at Indiana University, and I was fortunate enough to meet her in Atlanta when she was in town for a talk, and I went to Indiana University to do my PhD with her in African American music.
I'm just saying, if you ain't got your stuff together, she got the same 24 hours in a day that we all do. Just saying.
I'm fortunate enough to be teaching about African American music in a conservatory at Oberlin College. I love it because these kids, my freshmen were born in 1996. Blows my mind.
What do you mean? I'm still 17.
Yes, in my mind too.
Music has taken a wide range of faces and colors, and we're in a place that there is almost like no color lines when it comes to music. What are your thoughts about the Iggy Azaleas in this day and those things that people have been saying, it's more of a white black face type of thing to the music that she's doing, and people like her?
We are talking about the music of, primarily talking about the music of people who were brought to this country, enslaved, and never intended to be free, and the subsequent generations that sort of come from that experience. And so, I make that very clear from day one. Like without enslavement, you don't get to have jazz. We don't get to talk about Coltrane and Miles Davis and all of that. And so from that perspective, I'm very, very strong on talking about race and talking about and helping students think about what we say when we say race, what we say, what we mean when we say black, what we mean when we say white, and thinking about those ideas. And so I think that's critically important. And so that's always a part of my analysis. So that's sort of the historical piece.
Right.
So when you talk about folks like Iggy Azalea and Macklemore and Robin Thicke even, I'm not one of those people who will ever say, oh, this person should not make this kind of music. Right. That should not happen.
Right.
I don't believe in censorship, really. Do what you want. But I am also the person to point out historical precedent. And historical precedent says that Black people have always created genres and created types of music that have been co-opted and appropriated by white people. That does not also mean that all the white people making the music weren't instrumental in developing and a part of sort of the struggle of bringing the music to a successful place, because you certainly have folks who did that, right? But there is something to be said for someone like an Iggy Azalea who, in ways that we all visually and orally recognize as being derivative of blackness, Southern female blackness in particular, and she is rewarded for it in a way that Black women who possess the same traits are not. And so then you have to ask yourself, well, why is this so novel and so amazing on Iggy Azalea, and it's so even pejorative on Keisha from around the way? And we talk about contemporary events like Ferguson. We talked about Ferguson on day one. I was like, let's go. And we connected it to musical movements and moments in the 20th century where Black men were lynched or killed, and musical responses to that. And so, you know, we started out with Strange Fruit, Billie Holiday, written by Abel Meeropol, and the lynchings out in Indiana. There's a famous picture of 2 Black men who were lynched in Indiana in 1931, I believe. And then we did Mississippi Goddamn by Nina Simone, and we talked about 4 Little Girls in Alabama, and then Medgar Evers as well. And then we bookended it with Lauryn Hill and her dedication to Mike Brown of her song Black Rage, and the photo of Mike Brown laying face down in the middle of the street to start to
that
show.
Just gave me chill. The whole conference.
And that was day one.
That was day one?
That was day one.
Oh my goodness. That's just your schooling. You also have a company.
Yes. Juxi does 3 things. We do walking bass tours of New York City anchored around African American music, pointing out the history that's all around us. Really bringing that history out in a fun and engaging way, because I'm a fun and engaging person.
You don't say.
And then we do Juxi University. We just launched that this summer, where we do public music classes here in the city. We have wine. It's $15. People come in. We listen to music, I bring in other experts, and we drink, and we have a good time. And the third thing we do is we have a weekly radio show, Juxi Radio, on ABL Radio. It airs on Tuesdays at 10 a.m. and 6 p.m. Shout out to my co-host, Improv, and we have a good time. We play a lot of great music. We talk a lot of trash. A lot of trash.
Who would be your favorite artist, past?
One of them certainly is a woman by the name of Shirley Horn. She's a jazz singer.
I know.
Go ahead, tell me about her.
No, I'm just, you know.
I have an affinity for women musicians, and so she's a masterful pianist, like just incredible touch on the piano. Her phrasing and her vocal delivery, which is a huge thing, you know, especially in jazz singing. And she recorded probably one of my major theme songs in life, a song called Here's to Life, actually. And it's just a beautiful piece of music, and it sums up, if there is a song that lyrically sums up how I feel about life, like that song is it.
You mentioned someone by the name of Nina Simone. We know about her biopic that just happened, and we know there was a young lady who was playing her, Zoe Saldana. I know there's been controversies from the beginning about her even getting in that role, with all other African American actresses that are out there who are known, who are unknown. Your thoughts?
In this particular case, I thought it was crazy as hell. Mainly because Nina Simone was someone who was very clear and vocal about what it meant not only to be a Black woman, but to be a dark-skinned, African-looking woman, and what that meant for her career, what that meant for privilege or lack thereof, for a casting director or a director, whomever, to make that artistic choice. It says to me, and let's also be honest, I'm a dark-skinned Black woman, right? It says to me that you don't understand that fundamental truth of Nina Simone's life, so I no longer trust you to tell the story of Nina Simone's life, truthfully. I tell my students all the time, like, I'm not here to give you the answer. I'm here to unpack all the issues that are embedded around these things that we think about every day and give you language to talk about them so that you can come up with your own answer.
You're booked.
Stay booked. I promise y'all I'm not that deep. Put on some Luca and you'll see. Hey!
Hey! Scar! Scar! Scar!
I'm just saying. But I am who I am.